Just another minor chord in a worn-out song. Freedom's child is marching there, singing freedom song.
Our society, our country, and our world are broken. Everywhere you turn, this is evident. We are void of any real leadership, with only an illusion of choice and a delusion of democracy. With few exceptions, those that are in office have been bought and paid for a long time ago and beholden to one thing: the almighty dollar via corporations and big banks. Our economy is nothing short of a catastrophe created by economic policies that only can be described as the biggest scam of all time. 2008 saw hundreds of thousands in this country and millions worldwide lose their savings, retirement, and homes, while the banks that intentionally created the fiasco through deceit, fraud, and manipulation not only avoided prosecution, but were rewarded with billions in profits. Is it any wonder why they are right back to doing it again? Unemployment and underemployment are rampant, and government entitlements are escalating out of control. Today, almost 50 million Americans receive food stamps, and there are over 1 million children enrolled in our public schools who are officially homeless. Do these numbers alarm anyone? Our environment is a disgrace, but not for the reasons they tell us, and our once great infrastructure is crumbling all around us. And I'm not just talking some roads and bridges here, but dams and nuclear power plants. Think about that for a moment. Our education system is an absolute joke, and we continue to fall further and further behind every other developed nation on the planet. And can we honestly expect things to improve when 25% of all our children are on one type of behavior medication or another? When will it be too much? When it's half our kids? All of them? Diseases like Alzheimer's, autism, and cancers are skyrocketing. This is most likely due to the fact that our food, water, and air are deliberately being poisoned by the likes of GMOs, fluoride, and chemtrails. Think about it. With all our advances in science and technology, shouldn't these numbers be going down? This is not conspiracy theory, folks. It's a conspiracy fact. Healthcare? Please. It's almost impossible to call our healthcare system broken because that implies that it once worked. Real, and usually all natural cures, have been suppressed for decades simply because there is no money in those cures. We seem content taking pill after pill from doctors getting paid by the big pharma companies who roll out these drugs based on unscientific and outright falsified, bogus research with absolutely no idea of, among other things, long-term side effects. But that's okay, because when it's proven a drug is either unsafe or ineffective, the FDA simply recalls it, even though they were the ones who approved it. We are in perpetual, never-ending war that only serves to kill our soldiers, murder innocent civilians, and bankrupt our country even further, while a select few in charge of the military-industrial complex pocket billions every year. This war started, of course, as a direct result of the attacks on 9/11. We promised to never forget that day, but by accepting an incomplete, prejudicial, and duplicitous investigation, as stated by its own investigators, it's impossible for us to remember. Fact, more money was spent, and by a wide margin, investigating Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton than the September 11 attacks. And we allowed it. Why? Simply because it was easier than the alternative. Think what you want about that awful day, but simply look at what has unfolded since. And have just a little bit of courage, follow the money, and ask, who benefited the most? We were told that we were attacked because the enemy hated our freedoms. Yet since 9/11, in the name of security, our freedoms granted by the Constitution have been systematically dismantled and literally pissed on. Folks, it's now 100% legal for our government to pick up its own citizens without charge, without due process, and hold them indefinitely without trial. Why would they even consider making this a law if they don't intend on using it? I thought we were fighting terrorism to preserve the freedoms they attacked us for. The likes of government entities like the TSA are an insult to all Americans. And if we don't act now, it won't be long until they spread from the airports to our train stations, bus depots, highways, and even our malls. We do not ask the hard questions because we follow the lead provided by the mainstream media. And I'm not sure there is a bigger fact to wake up to beyond all print, radio, and TV media that exists has been consolidated into the hands of 5 corporations. Do we really think we are getting anything close to a choice or the truth? And what do we do with the freedoms that we have left? Well, thousands upon thousands of us will leave our families on a day like Thanksgiving to go stand in line for 5 hours, only to risk getting trampled, merely to save a few bucks on some piece of crap made in China that we don't need and we don't have the money for anyway. I get it, folks. I really do. It all seems too much and just too big to do anything. And of course, we are all largely too busy just trying to survive and take care of ourselves and those closest around us. But we simply cannot afford to not do anything any longer. We can no longer sit back and accept it as the way it is. We can no longer settle or remain in this collective trance that is only deepened by our eyes fixated on our phones, TVs, and video games, because that is exactly what they are counting on. Well, here's my tiny contribution in an effort to help you break out of that trance, to help you wake up and see this amazing amount of bullshit that is all around you, and to also help you realize what I truly believe, and that the problem is not too big, and we can do something about it. If we can just collectively realize that, half the battle will be won. Their lies and propaganda are just a house of cards, and if we knock out just one, the others will surely fall. There is hope, and without question, there are still beacons and purveyors of liberty and goodness to guide us. Just wake up, and we can make it a better world.
Filling up the empty space left by one who's gone. Freedom's child.